You've been told that a 6-month emergency fund is the gold standard of financial security. You followed the rules, painstakingly saved 6 months of your income, and put it in a savings account, feeling like you were financially invincible. You thought you built a fortress. But I'm here to tell you that while you did the right thing, the game has changed. In 2026, that advice might not be the whole story. That fortress you built might need some serious upgrades. My name is Yaji, and I probably spend way too much time thinking about emergency funds. If you're someone who feels like you're living paycheck to paycheck, worries about job security, or just can't seem to get ahead, stick around. And if this video helps you out, do me a solid and hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons. Look, the old rules were written for a different world. A world with one predictable kind of emergency. You lose your job, you find another one in a few months, and your fund tides you over. But that's not the world we live in anymore. Today, a crisis is less like a single wave, and more like a storm surge of multiple overlapping problems hitting all at once. Picture this. Your car's transmission dies on a Monday, that's a few $1,000s right there. On Wednesday, your kid breaks their arm, and you're staring at your high-deductible health plan, knowing you have to shell out thousands more before your insurance even kicks in. By Friday, that secure 6-month fund you built has taken a massive hit, and the month has just started. This isn't a scare tactic, it's the new financial reality. The very idea of an emergency has evolved, and our strategy has to evolve with it. The comfortable one-size-fits-all rule has left a lot of people exposed. And today, we're going to fix that. First off, let's be clear. If you've saved a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, you should be incredibly proud. You did everything right according to the advice that's been preached for decades by nearly every financial guru from Fidelity to Vanguard. You showed discipline and foresight. You are already way ahead of so many people. Recent bank rate surveys show that nearly a quarter of Americans have no emergency savings at all, and fewer than half can cover 3 months of expenses. So yes, your effort is a huge deal. But here's the hard truth. That advice, while a fantastic starting point, was built for a simpler problem, temporary job loss. It was a bridge from one paycheck to the next. The financial world of 2026 is just more complex. Here's what's changed, and why that bridge might not be long enough anymore. First, we're in the age of the compounding crisis. It's no longer about weathering one big storm. It's about surviving a series of smaller hits that pile up with terrifying speed. It's not just losing your job. It's losing your job while inflation has been quietly eating away at your savings value. It's a freelance client ghosting you right when your landlord hikes the rent. It's a leaky roof, followed by a surprise dental bill. On their own, they might be manageable. Together, they create a financial vortex that can drain a traditional fund before you even know what's happening. Your fund, which felt huge, suddenly feels like a puddle in a drought. Second, let's talk about the silent thief, the rising cost of essentials. Even when headline inflation cools down, the price of things you absolutely need, housing, food, utilities, and insurance, has been on a relentless upward climb. The $24,000 you saved, which covered 6 months of expenses a few years ago, might only cover 4.5 months today. Your savings are losing purchasing power every single day they just sit there. You're not just saving, you're trying to fill a bucket that has a slow, constant leak. Third, the way we work has completely changed for millions. The stable 9-to-5 job with a predictable paycheck is less of a given. We live in a world of variable income. Freelancers, gig workers, small business owners, all facing fluctuating cash flow. For them, a low-income month is a regular, expected emergency. The 6-month rule, built on a steady salary, just doesn't compute. It fails to account for the boom and bust cycle that defines modern work. And finally, there's the underinsurance gap. Most of us have insurance, health, home, auto. We pay our premiums and think we're covered, but the reality is we are more insured, yet less protected than ever. High-deductible health plans are a perfect example. You have a policy, but with a deductible of several $1,000s, you're on the hook for a huge amount out of pocket before your coverage even starts. A single ER visit can trigger that full deductible. A hailstorm might be covered by your homeowner's insurance, but not before you pay a $2,500 or $5,000 deductible first. Your emergency fund is no longer just for a catastrophe. It's for the everyday cost of using the protection you already pay for. Think of Sarah, a 35-year-old self-employed graphic designer. She was responsible. She had $9,000 saved, a lean 3 months of her family's essential costs. She thought she was safe. Then her biggest client went bankrupt overnight. That $9,000 fund evaporated in under 3 months, just covering the mortgage and groceries. To survive, she was forced to rack up over $15,000 in high-interest credit card debt, wiping out her progress. Sarah's story is an example of what can happen in 2026. She followed the old rules and fell into a new trap. So if the old rule has its limits, why do we all cling to it? Why does it feel so safe, even when we see the writing on the wall? The answer is a couple of powerful psychological traps our brains love to set for us. The first is called present bias. Our brains are hardwired to want rewards right now. That fancy dinner, that new phone, that weekend trip, they give us a tangible, immediate hit of pleasure. Saving money for a hypothetical, distant, and unpleasant emergency, that gives us, well, nothing. Not today, at least. The reward is abstract. So when you choose between spending $100 on something that feels good now versus saving it for a problem that might never happen, your brain screams to choose the immediate gratification. This bias makes the boring, disciplined act of saving incredibly hard. The second, and maybe more dangerous trap, is optimism bias. This is that little voice in your head whispering, "It won't happen to me." We hear stories like Sarah's and feel bad for her, but we subconsciously believe our situation is different. Our job is more stable, our health is better, we're a more careful driver. We systematically underestimate the odds of something bad happening to us. This blind spot is a survival mechanism. If we walked around convinced of impending doom, we'd be paralyzed by anxiety. But in financial planning, this optimism can be a killer. It convinces us that the standard preparation is good enough, because we won't be one of the unlucky ones. These two biases team up to create a perfect storm. Present bias makes it hard to start saving, and optimism bias convinces us we don't need to save that much anyway. The result is a devastatingly common scenario. A recent Bankrate survey showed that less than half of Americans could cover an unexpected $1,000 expense from savings. When that check engine light comes on or the dishwasher floods the kitchen, we're forced to turn to the only option we feel we have, a high-interest credit card. Suddenly, we're paying 20% or more interest on that emergency. This kicks off the debt cycle, where your income no longer builds wealth, but just services the interest on past problems. You're running on a treadmill, working harder just to stay in the same place. Your emergency fund is like the brakes on your car. You don't use them most days. But when a deer jumps out onto the highway, they're the only thing standing between a minor scare and a total disaster. Too many people are driving through 2026 with brakes designed for a bicycle. It's time to upgrade the whole system. The answer isn't just to save more money in the same old way. Saving 12 months of expenses in a regular savings account is better than 6%. But it's still an inefficient strategy that lets your money get eaten by inflation. The answer is to build a smarter, more dynamic system. I call it the 3-layer financial safety net. It's designed to protect you from a crisis and make your money work for you while it's on standby. Layer 1, the immediate access fund. Your cash cushion. This is your first line of defense for the oh crap moments. The car that won't start, the burst pipe, the emergency vet visit. This is money you need right now. Amount 1 to 2 months of your bare bones, essential living expenses. And I mean essential. This is your survival mode budget. Rent, mortgage, utilities, non-negotiable debt payments, and your absolute minimum grocery bill. If your essential monthly expenses are $3,000, your Layer 1 target is $3,000 to $6,000. Where it lives, a high-yield savings account, HSA. Full stop. It needs to be liquid and 100% safe. Unlike a traditional savings account paying maybe 0.40%, HSAs in 2026 are offering rates of 4%, sometimes even higher. With inflation hovering around 2 to 3%, these accounts can actually help your cash keep pace or even grow its buying power. It's safe, accessible in 24 to 48 hours, and it's doing some work for you. Layer 2, the short-term shock absorber. Once Layer 1 is funded, you start building your second line of defense. This is your shock absorber, and it replaces the old one-size-fits-all emergency fund. Amount: an additional 2 to 6 months of essential expenses. The exact amount depends on your life. This layer is for bigger disruptions, a job loss, a medical event that hits your deductible, or a few slow months if you're a freelancer. These are situations where you have a little warning, a few days or weeks, to get the funds. Because you don't need the cash tomorrow, you can trade a tiny bit of liquidity for a better return to fight inflation. Good options for Layer 2 include I-bonds, government savings bonds indexed to inflation, treasury bills, short-term government debt, considered one of the safest investments on earth, short-term bond funds or ETFs, diversified low-risk funds that typically beat an HYSA's return. Now let's tailor this layer to you. Stable job, single professional? You might only need 2 or 3 months in this layer. Combined with Layer 1, you have a total fund of 3 to 5 months. Family with dependents, especially on one main income? The stakes are higher. Aim for 4 to 6 months here, bringing your total to the 6 to 8 month range. Self-employed or freelancer? You are your own safety net. You need the most robust protection. You should aim for a minimum of 6 months in this layer, creating a total fund of 8 to 12 months to smooth out the ride. Layer 3, the Wealth Shield, your anti-emergency fund. This is the final, most advanced layer. And let me be crystal clear, this is not traditional emergency money. You don't sell these assets for a flat tire. This layer only comes into play after you've burned through layers 1 and 2. The purpose of the Wealth Shield is twofold. First, it's your defense against a life-altering catastrophe, a career-ending disability, a chronic illness, a prolonged depression with over a year of unemployment. It's the fortress that protects your long-term goals, like retirement, from being wiped out by a worst-case scenario. Second, this is the part of your safety net that actively builds wealth and crushes inflation over the long run. The tragedy of holding too much cash is the opportunity cost. If you had $30,000 in a standard savings account for 10 years, you'd end up with $30,000, but it would buy way less. If that same $30,000 was invested in a conservative, diversified portfolio like a 60% stock, 40% bond mix, it would have the potential to grow significantly, turning your safety net into a wealth-building engine. This is money invested for the long term. You only breach these walls when the alternative is ruin. Finally, a special word for retirees. The rules are different when you're not earning a paycheck. Financial planners often recommend retirees hold 18 to 24 months of living expenses in safe, liquid assets, basically, a much larger version of layers 1 and 2. This provides a crucial buffer to avoid selling investments during a market downturn just to cover your bills. Okay, I know that was a lot, but hopefully, you can see how this 3-layer system is about more than just saving. It's about strategic financial defense. If this is starting to make sense, and you want more modern money strategies for the world we actually live in, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And if this was helpful, a quick thumbs up makes a huge difference. It tells the algorithm this is valuable info and helps it reach more people who might be relying on outdated advice. For decades, we've been given a simple but incomplete blueprint for financial safety. The 2026 economy demands a new one. The 3-layer financial safety net is that new blueprint. It's about having the right kind of money ready for the right kind of problem. You have your Layer 1 cash cushion in an HYSA. You have your Layer 2 shock absorber in low-risk, inflation-resistant assets. And you have your Layer 3 wealth shield, your long-term investments that act as your ultimate backstop while actively growing your net worth. This system turns your emergency fund from a passive, depreciating pile of cash into an active, multi-layered defense mechanism. But knowledge without action is useless. I want you to be safer. So here are 3 simple things you can do the minute this video ends. Calculate your number. Right now, grab a piece of paper, list your absolute essential monthly expenses, housing, utilities, food, and minimum debt payments. Get a real number. This is the foundation of your entire plan. Start small. Start today. Don't get paralyzed by the big final number. Your first goal is to get $1,000 into your Layer 1 fund. That's it. That initial buffer is a massive first step that puts you ahead of millions and can break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Research shows that financial stress drops significantly once a household reaches this milestone. Automate and separate. Open a high-yield savings account online. It takes 15 minutes. Name it Freedom Fund or Layer 1, whatever motivates you. Then, set up an automatic transfer from your checking account for every payday. It doesn't matter if it's $20 or $200. Automation builds the habit and guarantees progress. Stop accepting outdated advice that leaves you exposed. It's time to build a system that not only protects you from today's storms, but propels you toward the secure, wealthy future you deserve. Let me know in the comments below, what is your Layer 1 target number? Just writing it down makes it real. Check out the next video on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.